How do we create an IVR OBD campaign? So let's see how to create an IVR OBD campaign today. In order to create an IVR OBD campaign, please log into your admin login. Once you log into the admin login, you will be having a campaign here. Click on campaign section, go to Outbound, click on create new. Once you click on create new, select the outbound campaign and click on continue. We need to give a basic details such as your campaign name. Let's say test_123. Campaign type, we have to choose IVR OBD. So IVR OBD or IVR voice blast. So this is basically an IVR outbound campaign where you are going ahead and initiating a voice blast to your customers. Give the respective DID that you want to use for this campaign. Okay. The flow will be added in the list. You can add the flows from the IVR flows options if you have the access to the flows, or you can give our team as well. So you have to choose the respective flow from the system. Max concurrent calls. So at a time, how many concurrent calls do you want to trigger from this dialer? So let's suppose we say as 10. This will also depend on the number of ports and number of channels that you are taking in the system. So if I say max concurrent calls at 10, the moment I start the campaign, the calls initiated would be count in 10. So every time there will be concurrent calls running in the backend will be 10 here. So this will purely depend on the number of ports and channels which are aligned in the account. So once you click on next, you will see the details here. Okay, these are for your CRM integrations. If anything is required here, you can add up your screen pop-up details and callback details. Dispositions as agents. So ideally in IVR OBD campaign, we don't have the agent involvement. So by default, this is enabled. So you can just give a default setting here. Okay. Dispositions. The reason why we are tagging all the dispositions is ideally we would be going ahead and not using this because initially your agents are not involved in the IVR voice blast. Once you trigger the campaign, the call will go to your customer and the customer will answer. Now, based on what responses or what feedbacks you're capturing, whether the call is routing back to inbound, that is secondary. But yeah, the pure voice blast is there is no agent involvement at the starting where it's completely automated dial to the customer and they will listen to the voice recorded message. Number of tries for the data. How many attempts do you want to give to the data? By default, it has to be 1 for sure to start off with the campaign. In case if you want to go ahead and give number of tries more than 1, you can also give 3 or 4. Now, how this will trigger? Let's say you uploaded 1,000 numbers. So all the 1,000 numbers will be triggered first. That is the first attempt. Post which the failed calls, the system will segregate as success and failed. The failed calls will be triggered as a second attempt. Similarly, the third attempt will go to the further number of tries like you have given in the count here. Any blocked numbers that you require to block and stop calling from this IVR campaign, you can go ahead and choose the block and add it in the group here. So this can be configured again in the configurations part. Record, how do you want the recording of the call? You can select the options from the record full conversation and do not record the calls. Now, what time do you want to start this campaign? You can choose your office working hours, or if you're specific to only 2 hours or 3 hours where you just want to trigger the campaign for 2 or 3 hours, you can just choose that as well. Okay, you can just select your respective hours here. So in this specific time, the calls will not be triggered to them. And the calls will be triggered only in this specific time, like after 4 p.m. here, the calls will not be initiated further. So ways you can also give 0, 0, 0 and 23, 15 and 59 if you don't have a specific time and you will be starting and stopping the campaign manually. That can also be defined in the campaign section. We have a start and the stop button. Priority is if you have multiple campaigns with the same DID, and if you want to define priority to a campaign, higher the value, highest the priority. So when I say 99 here and another campaign with same DID number as 95, first calls will be initiated from this campaign. So how do you define and what is the highest priority if you have multiple campaigns in the system? Then you can give the priority here. Dial interval per second is basically gap between each calls. So after a call is done, when should the call trigger? Ideally for IVR, you can give 0 or 1 seconds. You don't need to give more than that. As there is no agent involvement, once the call is completed, the next call will be initiated. Customer ringing time by default, it is 60 seconds. Maximum that you can go up to ring your customer is 60 seconds by teleco itself. You cannot go beyond that. You want to reduce the time, you can reduce it 45 to 50 seconds or as well. Don't keep it too less like 20 or 25 seconds because that will be hardly 2 or 3 rings. So you can go up and keep up to maximum 60 as the customer ringing time. Now coming to the mapping file, how do you map the file? Okay. Now two things here if you see in the system. One is the mapping file and one is the file to upload. So mapping file is basically your headers file. You can go ahead and download the sample from here. So you need to define your headings. In IVR, ideally, you just require the phone number, right? You will not require other details because there is no agent who will be seeing those details as in progressive or predictive dialer. So only for phone numbers, you can download a sample or open your Excel sheet. Okay. Start giving your headers here. Okay. So I have downloaded a sample from here. So the sample file will look like this. So you can download the sample. Else, you can also simply open your Excel sheet and start giving your headers. If you observe, let's say if you have only phone number, you can only keep phone number as a section. Okay. For IVR, you will not require other details. But in case if there is anything like a specific name parameter, if you see here, name is nothing but we have a unique identifier column, which stands for UUI field in the CDR report. In case if anything which is important for you through the data that you want to add on and that data you want to reflect in the CDR report, which is a call detail report, you can add it as name column. So phone number is must and mandate in IVR. Okay. P capital, N capital, no space in between. Ideally, you can keep it first. Name, as I said, you can also give a customer name, but in case if anything that is important like a reference ID or your customer ID that you want to reflect in the call detail report, you can add as a name column. Okay. Please make sure you give the headers in column A only. Do not give it in the horizontal format. It should be in column A only. Ideally, the system will take all the headers that you have given in column A and eventually split into a table format. You need to save this file in .xlsx, which is Excel workbook format. Okay. The file format should be this one. If you download a sample, it will be automatically in the same format. So once you have saved this file, just go back to your campaign. Okay. If the file is already existing in the system, you can anytime choose it from the drop down. So you have the mapping files here, right? So if you already have uploaded the same headers in your progressive or any other dialer, you can add it directly. Or if you want to add a new file, you can click on create new data mapping. Give your file header. Choose the file which you have created. Once you submit, you get a success message and click on submit. So once it's submitted, your file will be added in this drop down. Now choose your file. You will see whatever headers are there. Now it's in the column format, column A and column B, right? So this is how you upload. Once you save the campaign, you will not be able to change the headers. So in case if you want to change it, please change it before you save the campaign. Okay, if you want to switch it, you can switch it like this with any of the existing or you can add up a new, like how I showed you earlier. Now coming to the upload file, you can download a sample similarly or you can open your own Excel sheet with the data sheet. Data should be directly in the format of these columns. Please make sure to give the format here itself. Okay, it should not go beyond this format. It will not accept. So as if you have given only phone numbers and name, okay, you have to maintain the same thing. So let's say we upload phone number and name here, or let's say I don't want name. This is my customer reference ID. So I just give a reference ID here because I want to use it as a unique header field, right? So I'll just give the unique header. Okay, and phone number, we can go ahead and give the mobile number. So my columns are phone number and name. I am not using for name. If you want, you can add up another column as customer name. But for IVR, it's not required IVR OBD because the data is not visible anywhere to the agents. So you can maintain only phone number, or if you want anything that you want to reflect in our CDR report under the UUI column, you can make sure you can add it like this. So I am giving a headers or I'm giving it as a unique, let's say customer ID here. Okay. And I save it. This file also will be in .xlsx format only. After you save it, just click on upload file and choose the file that you have created. Okay. So I'll just click on upload file. Now you see it's submitted here. Okay. Rest, we have a holiday feature in case if any specific day you are defining it as a holiday, or let's say tomorrow is a sudden holiday and you don't have your admins available, you can add up the holidays in the holiday section under configurations holidays. Okay. And you can define here on that particular day, you will not be triggering out the calls as you have defined it as a holiday. Else, you can also anytime start and stop the campaigns as per your requirement. Okay. Reason first is for your data, how you want the data to be triggered. If you check this box, this will follow LIFO process, which is last in, first out. If you uncheck it, it will follow FIFO process with the data, which is first in, first out. Okay. So these are the main features that are required. Rest are for the other campaigns. And once you go to skills, you can choose whichever skills that you're looking to go ahead and create. And you can click on next and you can click on save. Once you save it, you will see that your campaign is saved here. So this is my IVR OBD campaign. Okay. Initially, it's ideally in a ready state. You can either start or stop it from here. In case if you want to edit the details here or delete any data here, you have force complete. So ideally the campaign, once you create it, will be in ready. You need to start it. If it's in running, you will see a running state and you can stop it in case if required. Completed, if the campaign has completed by itself, that means your entire data has exhausted and triggered. To check that data, how many attempts or fail or success, you can click on data here and you will see the status. So there will be fail, success and pending. Success is basically triggered here and answered. You will see the attempts as well. Failed is not answered and pending is yet to be triggered. If you want to download this data, you can come back to the campaign. Click on this. You will have a download option. You just need to click on download. Put your filters as per dates, from which date to which day, and you can download the data. Once you download the data, your data will be in this downloaded box, download data box. If your campaign is still running, but you further want to stop it, like you don't want to trigger the calls further because you have reached your target, you can choose force complete. When you say force complete, the campaign will be forcefully stopped here. Okay. Add data. Let's say tomorrow you have an additional data to be added. Just click on add data. You can see the headers are fixed. I cannot change the headers. So as I was telling, while creation only you have to decide these headers. Directly we are uploading the file in the same manner where no headings, just directly the data which we did earlier. Headings should not be given in the upload file. It's directly the data in this format. Okay. That is the add data option. And you have a copy option where if you want to make a copy of a similar campaign, you can make a copy. If you want to delete a campaign. Now reset is grayed out ideally if you see here. So reset is nothing but like a churn option if you want to churn the campaign. Okay. So firstly, reset button will be activated only on a completed state. If the campaign has come to itself by completed, you'll have that reset. If you see for the below campaign, you will get the reset option. Similarly, if you do a force complete also, you would be getting the reset option. So when I do the force complete, you will see that I will get the reset button. So this is basically to churn your data. It will ask you what type of data you want to churn. Like you want to reset which type of data? Entire data, all, failed or success. Let's say after 3 attempts, your calls are still failed. You can choose fail and you can click on preview data. Whatever data is available in the system, you will see. Now in our scenario, it was a pending data, right? So we can just click here. You will see the data here. Scroll a bit down. You will have delete as well as reset option. So this is for your churn option that you can create. So this is how you can create and manage your campaign from here. Okay. In order to add a new campaign, you can click on add and add up the new data here.